ladies and gentlemen, and in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, it is going to be your blue Terran from Sidestorm Gaming. It's GUMIHO.
Oh. I see. You got his background to work now. His opponent, in the top right side, the red Terran, it's Bunny. It's a very white room he has.
I like it. It's aesthetic. It's got the gray curtains.
Aesthetic.
It's got the nice cabinet behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Bunny, I mean...
Hung a very long towel there to dry as a metaphor.
See, GUMIHO has a lot of small towels. Bunny has the big towel.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, you know?
That's right.
When you have the big towel, it's more surface area, more soaking power.
Bunny decided that, you know, the towel Terran, it just does sound cool. So he decided, you know, if I get a bigger towel, then I'll be the towel
It'll be
Terran,
better.
Clearly. Yes. It will be me who's the towel Terran, but no, not quite.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Bunny was so kind of inactive for a little period. Like, he wasn't playing in a ton of ESL Open Cups. I think he played in a few, but wasn't playing in a ton of tournaments, and obviously didn't make it into like some of the big. Hasn't made it into Valencia or Atlanta just yet. But you know, just that kind of break, I think. It was noticeable because you know we really hadn't seen him for about a month or so, and so it's good to see him come back. It's good to see him still seem like he's in good form, especially after that exit in GSL Season 3, which was you know definitely a bit disappointing. Like I really wanted to see him go further, especially after his Season 2 performance. But it's nice, and so you know for both these players, you know it's a situation where I think a lot of people would like either of them to win, and I think you know both players, a lot of people like them. They're very charismatic, and their play styles are so fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun just watching these two. In GUMIHO particular, I would say just the innovation that you see sometimes from this guy is it's quite fun to behold.
Yeah.
Regardless of how old the game is, suddenly it's there like, oh, wait a moment, let's bring this strategy around, put a new twist onto it, and bam, he makes it work.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. All right, Widowmine here for Buddy. Being produced. Might be trying to go for a little bit of a drop with that. Occasionally people just use it at the front of their base as well. In particular when you have that ramp leading up to your natural base. It can be quite nice. As, you know, it's going to be a second before the enemies realizes that there is a hole in the ground there. Especially if there's a Hellion on top of it.
Yeah, I think we've seen actually, a lot of players do that trick where you'll have the Hellion or a Reaper sitting on top of the Widowmine, and it just helps to cloak that little visual indication that there is, that there's a cloaked unit there. And I think, yeah, just one of the few interesting ways to interact with that dynamic that cloaked units can still be seen, just barely. As both players just getting up their command centers as normal, Tech Labs coming through. Once again, Bunny going for Cyclones off the start here. We'll see if does he have one out already, or is this going to be a second? Yeah, I believe.
Second? Right?
Yeah.
No?
Raven coming out, yeah, additional Cyclone. Both players going for this. Yeah, 3 Cyclones for GUMIHO is a bit high. And the only reason why it's a bit high is just because most players at this point would like to cut for tanks at this point, or for some sort of additional tech. Obviously, with the Banshees, then it gives you that extra gas to build a Cyclone. But yeah, just a little bit of a difference in the builds there from GUMIHO, preferring to have that additional unit out. A bit more of this kind of mobile comp that can really fight actively with the Banshees and the Cyclones. And Bunny is going to start to scout out now.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, sure. Is just going to see the Banshee. That's a nice catch there. Hellion being sacrificed, absolutely worthwhile to make sure that you don't take any damage from that. As now Reapers and Cyclones just trying to clear out units. Third command center is going down already. Bunny did build his in base, so it has a little bit faster. But other than that, this is really just both players playing this very, very respectfully. They do not want to take any risks.
Yeah, GUMIHO does have his third on the low ground. So that might allow him to mine there a little bit earlier on. Sometimes it also helps to kind of already have it there so you don't have to go secure it later down the line. You know, you can already start setting up some units there. Bunny, fully aware, excuse me, about the situation here. Now I'm kind of just waiting for him to start getting aggressive again.
Yeah, we'll have to see when that comes through. And it might just be a situation where it's more so going to be something like Bunny just kind of sitting back and building up until he feels comfortable pushing out and just kind of macroing up to a position where he's like, okay, now I can be aggressive. As ooh, Banshee getting close with a good pullback there from GUMIHO. The two Banshees just offering, again, a lot of pressure. Hey, you snipe a supply depot, you don't lose anything. You're pretty happy with that so far. As GUMIHO, you've just been applying light pressure. This hasn't been anything crazy. This hasn't been him with a super heavy committal. I think the only downfall of this opening for GUMIHO is he does have less Ravens. You know, he's not going to have, only has the one, I believe, as he immediately switched into Viking production. And so it's just that little spellcaster, you know, is going to be what you're missing.
Yeah, that's a big missing link in the Terran chain. Nice Reaper once again, kind of forcing all these units to GUMIHO here to give chase. I'm not sure if he was planning to move out with more units than what he had sent across here. This is really just kind of the quick scouting force, right? The Cyclones in particular, very good at trying to poke away units as they're moving across the map themselves. A lot of kiting potential there. And if your opponent, Bunny in this case, overcommits to the chase, you could try to lure them into a siege tank as well. Might be set up somewhere along the way back.
Now, right now, I think really the big things that we're looking for, we have, of course, the 3 bases up for both players. GUMIHO, the slight worker lead at this point does not matter too much just because the income that mules make up evens that out essentially for both these players. But what you're really looking at is the upgrade timings. And again, this is a very similar situation to what happened to Bunny in the last time they faced off, where his upgrades are so far behind. But look at the interference matrices, and that's the power of the additional Raven. One goes down, but you completely disable the tanks. As now look at this push out from GUMIHO, gonna try and snipe the tank repairs coming through. Bunny keeps it alive. The Cyclones are gonna try and knock down the Vikings. The land does not actually save them as 2 go down. But good trades for Bunny overall, keeps his tanks alive, gets rid of some of the high-tech units here of GUMIHO, and just means that that's going to even out this game a little bit more. Bunny still worried, though. Again, these upgrades, this is something where even though Bunny only went for 2 Ravens, you know, still so far delayed on these 1-1 upgrades, and there's going to be a big gap between his and GUMIHO's.
I think he even took out... Am I mistaken on that? He took out the Raven of Bunny with that Cyclone as well?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
I think the second one's alive.
Big stuff.
Yeah. Liberator now going to look for some harassment. Stages up in the main. Good reactions from GUMIHO so far is getting up that armory, so he's immediately going to have that 2-2 available. As catching out the Cyclones. The high ground is so annoying to deal with there for Bunny in this map. As look at GUMIHO, 4th base on the way.
These 3 Cyclones have been putting in some work. Overall, they've just endlessly been able to see where Bunny is going to, and every time Bunny is trying to make a move out on the map, he's got to be so careful with it because, well, there's just 3 Cyclones waiting for units to move forwards and just get kited down into the abyss of nothingness. Yeah, he's playing it very nicely. He's got to be careful. He's got to lose them now. Oh, that's a shame.
They did definitely get their value, though.
Yep.
Yeah, you snipe a Raven, you forced Bunny to stay back and be very, very safe. And Bunny right now, really what he's building up is an advantage in tanks. You know, GUMIHO has these upgrades advantages, and so you need to try and counteract that some way as Bunny. And I think right now that's really going to be in the Viking and tank count, is where he's been putting a lot of his production focus into. And so with GUMIHO taking this 4th, Bunny's going to need to start... And he's going to need to do something, and taking his own 4th is obviously a great start to that, setting down his own command center. And with these 1-1 upgrades now equalizing, I think this is when Bunny should start to get aggressive out on the map, and we're seeing that already. Units moving out from that 4th base location, going to get ready to try and get aggressive on GUMIHO's 4th.
Yeah, GUMIHO may not be in a good position. His unit's just now starting to move away. The scan comes in. It might give him a clue that there is an army coming as he sends one Marine.
Oh, no.
One Marine will not kill this army or defend this position here. That is not enough. Oh.
GUMIHO completely misread this. I think he thought the army was swinging over to the right side, and that's why Bunny scanned the left to see if the army was there for him to take advantage of. But no, Bunny was just trying to push in. That's going to be the 4th base going down. GUMIHO, is he just going to try and swing this across the map? I mean, there's already tanks set up. There's so many Vikings here for Bunny.
Ooh.
Again, that's the advantage he's been pushing, is just this tank and Viking count. You know, he knows that.
Careful. He might get sandwiched here.
GUMIHO, I mean, you have the 2-2 for your Marines, but is that going to be enough? You don't really have the support for them. It's so important. As look at that, and great catch out by Bunny. Man, just to stop those reinforcements from coming through. He lifted off his 4th, saved a lot of the SCVs. In fact, almost all of them. And yeah, Bunny just, I mean, it feels like every single series here, I've been surprised at how well Bunny is playing out this mid game, even from what appear to be apparent deficits.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hanging on there, and he's getting some good trades here or there, and suddenly he's just back in it, right? He's got his upgrades rolling also. It's a slight delay here in comparison to GUMIHO, but I mean, it's going to be there any moment now before probably even a battle happens, right? So,
yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, for any Terran players watching this is just a good style to practice. If you know that you're behind on upgrades, if you know that you're not going to be able to match the Marines in a straight up fight, focus on those tanks and Vikings. Focus on being safe while pushing out a little bit. It really, I mean, we've seen Bunny make this into a very, very even game with that. Now his 2-2 is going to finish up. That upgrade will even out. The 3-3 is not that far ahead. This might be a nice catch for GUMIHO, though. Medevacs are low. They're going to be able to escape, though, with most of those Marines intact. But the additional starports coming down. Raven production now beginning. And once you get into this stage of the game, really a lot of how these fights go is decided by your tank positioning and your Raven spellcasting. And so the fact that Bunny has such an advantage in that production, you know, might just counteract that 3-3. Because, you know, 2-2s is a really big upgrade for Terran. That once you get that 2-2 on the bio, it just does so much more damage. The 3-3, yes, it's good, but will it be enough to counteract just having more tanks and the Raven energy?
Yeah, you would have to have such a majority Marine lead, and you would need to have better engagements overall as well with the angle, the arc for the Marines. Well, both of them, I love the sensor towers here, being extremely careful. They don't want to get blindsided and suddenly just lose straight up because, well, unfortunately you didn't see the army movements of your enemy. Well, it can be incredibly frustrating in this matchup right here. And, well, both of them avoiding that exact thing so far up to a T.
It's just constant scans to keep tags on where their opponent is, what they're doing, what their movement is. Both players are kind of playing on two fronts here. They have two groups of units that they're using to try and apply pressure to try and match the movement of their opponent. I like this from Bunny, though. Just splits off a few Marines, is going to go and try and deny this 5th base, or 6th base, is going to be able to do that. Oh, the Doom drop GUMIHO. Oh my god, but look at that. Missile turrets, a bit dangerous. The target's the one that's not full of Marines, though. As the Ravens come in, auto turrets are dropped, but it's so many Marines into the main as the Raiders are going to have to siege up. There's also going to be a push at the front that Bunny is going to have to deal with. Is he going to have enough to do it? The front is now trying to push in. The tanks haven't been sieged yet, but...
My goodness, yeah, he's going in forwards, getting this command center as well to boot. I was looking at the SCV kills just from the main base, and it was like, oh, this is not too bad, right? He can survive this. His production's just gonna get into the orange maybe a little bit, but that's about it. He loses so many SCVs on the home stretch there. Trying to clean up some of those siege tanks, but can't quite make that work either, though.
Yeah, very good on siege from GUMIHO. Gets the 5th base, and that means that he's going to be up quite a bit in this income. I mean, just look at the banks. Almost 3,000 minerals here for GUMIHO. He's been mining off an extra base for about 2 minutes now with the 3-3. And, you know, Bunny has really been trying to find, you know, himself advantages to get back into this game. And that's mostly been in the air superiority. And he still has that. But GUMIHO it's just given him so much time to build up this army, you know, while Bunny has been...
To be fair, though, I mean, it is now almost 30 extra military supply here for Bunny, right? He lost those SCVs, but, I mean, he still managed to get maxed out, and potentially, if he gets that fight to go in his way, even just slightly, with 30 extra something supply, that could be a massive turnaround point in the game.
Yeah, good pickup here by Bunny. Snipes the command center, gets on out, is going to continue to deny that 6th base. And it's oh so important that he does, because if that 6 goes up, obviously this becomes a much harder with the amount of money that GUMIHO is going to have at his disposal. But as you said, right now there's a critical mass of units for Bunny. He has 100 and almost 40 supply of units. He's going to take down a few tanks here that were just left in the middle of the map, and that's a bit of an oversight here by GUMIHO, just leaving those tanks out. Another disable is going to go down. Missile turrets trying their best to stop this army from just pushing through, but Bunny, again, he just pulls the trigger, brute forces it, and says, listen, I have enough, and I'm going to try and take this fight. Now it's fighting these tanks straight up. There's just so many tanks for his opponent. The Ravens, though, the energy, the casting, the interference matrices just find so much value. And I think this is just about as far as he can push it. He's going to get maybe one more tank, but I think that's going to be it.
Do you land the Vikings here? Oh, wait, there's a planetary, a lot of Marines in the back as well. Scary. But, I mean, if these siege tanks are gone, imagine what his siege tanks would be able to do right now. There we go. He gets one of those Vikings in there. He's making it work, man. 3 siege tanks, 4.
Oh, my. This Viking, the hero Viking.
I don't think he noticed.
It's massacring the tanks. The hero Viking gets 4. Is trying to snipe down a 5th. The other Vikings hit the deck. They snipe down the rest of the tanks. And, man, Bunny, just so decisive in these series that he's been playing. Cleans up the drop at home as well that GUMIHO tried to sneak through. That's going to be the 4th base going down. And Bunny is still on 4 bases himself, but finds a massive amount of damage. And now he's evened out the 3-3 upgrades. The +2 vehicle weapons is coming through for him as well. So now his tanks are finally going to one-shot those stim Marines. Man, Bunny is playing so good.
He is, but this is also, again, right, where now after this big fight, he's taken GUMIHO down a peg, which is a big deal, but at the same time, army supply is going to start to equal out a little bit. That bank for GUMIHO is now going to play its part.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier for him to get back up to 200 supply, or at least it should be, than it will be for Bunny. However, if Bunny can just keep applying this pressure, keep up the momentum, it might not be such a swing here for GUMIHO to find.
Bunny trying to split his Marines against Planetary Fortress. The splash damage just is so much. I actually don't know if he's going to get the Planetary. It's low, but it's not going to go low enough.
That's the repair. Oh, he tried.
Yeah.
That was a good amount of Marines, actually. Bit of a... He's sending more now.
Imagine. Try and finish it off. I don't know if they're going to finish it off.
No.
The Planetary is so strong.
We're too huddled. Too close together.
Yeah, the Hero Planetary. As now, I mean, Bunny, look at the army supply. It's starting to balloon out of control as GUMIHO. 4 battle cruisers. Look at this.
Wow.
GUMIHO using that bank for a massive tech switch now. Is going to add on the battle cruisers. He realizes that the army, the tank count for Bunny is so high. As these tanks are going to siege up these bases, they're going to deny mining. Is so important for Bunny to do because he's going to have an instant reaction to these battle cruisers.
Yeah. Yeah, GUMIHO putting that bank to work, and well, battle cruisers, an interesting choice. He seems to have air dominance here, at least in the Viking numbers. As long as those Vikings can zone out the Ravens, I mean, that is a terrifying army for GUMIHO then.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, yeah, you've seen the scan there onto the base. This tank position, though, is really good.
Yeah.
Denying the army would be massive here for Bunny. But the battle cruisers are now out. Where's that TP going to go? Will it be across the map? Will it just be to try and clean up this army? And it's just going to be to clean up the army. You see there, walks into the scan. It's enough to push Bunny back, but now Bunny knows. 7 Vikings on the way. He has, I think he's working with right now, what, 4 starports?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe even 5, actually, with 3 tech labs and 2 reactors. But, yeah. Immediate on the Viking production, that's absolutely what you need to do. A few Ravens as well can help out a lot with interference matrices and anti-armor missiles. But right now, GUMIHO has used that bank, as you said. He's remaxed to a much stronger army and one that's much better at fighting what there is here for his opponent as the Marines stim forward, but it's just so hard to fight into these tanks. And Bunny just has to back up, give up ground. He needs time to build up the anti-air army.
Like the anti-armor missile there onto the battle cruisers. Quite a strong one when you have the Marines pretty close nearby. Not a good hit. At least it stops GUMIHO from easily moving forwards, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Careful. Oh man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. It does feel like it could go either way quite quickly. A lot of interference matrices there onto the air force of GUMIHO, but it's gonna stay alive as it moves backwards.
Yeah, I mean, the Viking count is just so high right now for GUMIHO, and as the battle cruisers come back in, more interference matrices actually come out. The Viking count is so close. Bunny has a slight advantage. He's starting to win the fight with the anti-armor missile. And Bunny pushes back GUMIHO.
Okay, supplies still very equal. The base count slightly in favor for Bunny here, as Bunny is starting to have a bit more income overall. It is too close to have that be the decisive factor just right now on its own. Definitely needs something else here to go into his favor. But it's there, right? It's got a bit of a leg up. Could be everything.
GUMIHO still maxed out, though. Still working with just such a strong army. Is now adding on the air upgrades as well. More and more bases coming down. Here's the thing is, though, GUMIHO, look at this. It hasn't been able to establish that 6th base because Bunny has been denying it so actively. Behind this, Bunny has gotten his own 6th command center on location and is now mining from it, is now ahead in the income. It's kind of flipped the script, is now GUMIHO. The onus is going to be on him to try and deny that, because if Bunny is allowed to continue mining, Bunny can just build up a stronger and stronger army, and he'll be able to remax it faster.
Yeah, and it's scary, right? He does still have the 3 battle cruisers. I haven't seen a lot of extra production right there anymore afterwards. Maybe this is the reason why, right? As soon as you know those battle cruisers are coming in, it can be quite a terrifying sight. And the guys prepared. Ooh,
yeah, the reaction from Bunny was just so good. And now look at this, stimming on into the 4th. Once again, gets 22 workers. Bunny just sneaks those 2 medevacs across the map. Is now going to try and escape with them.
The surprise siege tank captures them. Wonderful.
But yeah, no, I'm loving how GUMIHO, or how Bunny is playing this out. He keeps his Vikings off to the side. He makes sure that when the battle cruisers come in, then he finds his way through after finding the disables with the interference matrix. And now suddenly Bunny is up 30 supply or so. And he has a bank to work with, is the big part. Look at the worker count. It's 64 to 29. GUMIHO, his harassment across the map has been shut down so well by Bunny, who's been keeping tabs on it, has more sensor towers especially, which has been keeping tabs on when those drops head across the map. Whereas GUMIHO doesn't have that. And look at it, every time Bunny has an army that's able to move across the map, and there's just no way for GUMIHO to know until it's at his base.
I almost feel like it would be okay for Bunny to lose these 2 bases here and still be in an okay spot. As long as he doesn't lose his army, or too much of his army, because this is pretty much what GUMIHO is working with right now. This army right here.
Yeah.
Replacing this, I don't think we're going to see it happen anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's an insane tank count for GUMIHO. That's what he's rebuilt on. He went for the battle cruisers, then switches back into the ground. You try and find advantages through that tech switching. But it just feels like, yeah, at this point, Bunny just needs to play out the time. GUMIHO's down to 142 supply. GUMIHO has not been allowed to take a 6th base, especially as the big... I mean, that's the game decider here. Is Bunny just going to drop his Vikings down? Yes, he is. The tank's walking forward. The Vikings hit the deck, and they're going to clean up all the units there at that location. GUMIHO, you can't have your army split up, and now Bunny is just going to run over the rest of the army, and Bunny is going to take game number 1.
It's starting to look like it. GUMIHO not quite ready yet to type out the GG. He is going to sit back just a little bit more. Still 50 army supply strong, waiting, hoping to be able to obliterate whatever comes next, and then just have some sort of a move across the map again himself as well. A command center floating over to that base that he just managed to take out. It was a big base to take out. I mean, the income here for Bunny definitely took a bit of a tumble, but here is the attack. Does GUMIHO still have enough? It does not look like it's the case. GG.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for Bunny, this would be a very big win for him, getting into that top 8. I mean, we've seen how I think Bunny has shown a lot of resilience, especially after that first series, that 3-game series. There was a few frustrating losses there, but still managed to keep his head level, and has been approaching these games. And I think he's been playing very, very consistent for the entirety of this series. And now we're going to be seeing how he responds to this play from GUMIHO. It is 2 racks. It's a little bit different though. It's 1 proxied, 1 at home. This kind of a build means that you get your barracks at home. You don't have to float both of them back. And so you'll build that Reaper first in your main base, and then you'll build the Reaper across the map. And so it allows you to apply a little bit more pressure by surprise, but it's not necessarily as dangerous as something like the proxy 2 racks.
Yeah, this is one that can, wake you up in a shiver at night, however, as well, because Bunny here, going across the map, getting the read. Okay, you got your barracks at home, things are looking kind of normal, except for perhaps that second supply depot that you put down to keep me from, getting into the base. But that has so many things it could mean. So he's very likely to send his Reaper across the map, right? Or in my mind, I'd be like, you want to figure out what's going on in that base, right? Why didn't the supply depot? He's not sending that Reaper, and that's a big deal. Because if he had, the other Reaper here would of course shown up, and well, his SCVs would have been in quite a pickle, quite a jam-packed Reaper bullet hell shooter game. Not where they want to be. They want to be in a strategy game, and with these 2 Reapers here, it's hopefully going to persist the strategy game. Oh dear, already 2 SCVs, however, do go down. Yeah,
not the start that I think you really want here for Bunny. Already losing a few units. Eventually the Reapers are going to back up as a few more units come out, and the Hellion especially pops out. But I mean, a great start there for GUMIHO. Again, this is a much less committed pressure, and so you're going to have a higher worker count off the back of it. And so now GUMIHO having that slight SCV lead, also having the faster command center off the back of it. It does mean that his factory is quite a bit later than his opponents, but I think you're going to be pretty happy with how this opening has gone as GUMIHO.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. All right stuff there for him. However, we've seen Bunny come back from worse, right?
Yeah.
It's
absolutely
an elastic band Terran that will just keep bouncing back.
Yep.
Was there someone called the elastic band something at some point?
Was there?
I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't know
there should be.
that.
Maybe Dark should be like the elastic Zerg.
The elastic Zerg.
Yeah, it just keeps
Mr.
bouncing
Fantastic.
back. Yeah, exactly. But Bunny's making a good case as well today in the TVT matchup, right?
Yeah.
The elastic TVT.
Yeah.
The elastic Terran duelist. No, it's too long. It's too long.
It's gotta be short. It's gotta be snappy,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like the towel Terran.
I'll keep
You're
it.
like, oh, that's great.
I'll keep it shimmering in the back of my mind somewhere. Well, who knows? It might come back with something.
Yeah. Look at this transition from GUMIHO. This is actually very interesting, and this is sometimes a transition that you'll see off of this build, but it's actually going to be a 2-1-1 essentially. With the stim pack and +1 coming through now, they're going to get out a few tanks, a few medevacs, but it's going to be stim Marines pushing across the map very, very quickly. I like this from GUMIHO. I feel like this is a really nice kind of ordering of the build. I really like how he's setting this up. I'm excited to see how this works.
Ooh, this is a Reaper. That could be nasty. Oh, might lose another one if he's not too careful. Bunny's like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to be able to just jump up here. And, well, he wasn't too far wrong. He did have the Reaper numbers, but GUMIHO good with the grenades, good with the micro there, keeping his high ground safe. Oh, dear.
Oh, I like this Banshee.
Oh, dear. Those
Bunny
don't shoot up. They don't shoot up.
He's taking some notes from GUMIHO. He says, listen, you did this last game and it worked pretty well, so I kind of want it too.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to knock down a few Marines, a few SCVs. Notable, I mean, yeah, you get, what, 4 Marines here, 4 SCVs, can continue to be annoying here at the edge of the base. Oh, the Banshee's so low, but it still gets out. And Bunny is also preparing actually another little move out here. He's got a Raven. This is something that he did against GUMIHO earlier, actually. In their first series, it didn't work out that well because GUMIHO had gone for a very similar response.
Oh, this could be horrible.
And
this could be
horrible. No, GUMIHO realizes he drops back down. But now look, Reaper's into the main with the Banshee. Oh, he's going to start to knock down a few more SCVs. This is great moves from Bunny.
He's going across the map. Bunny's moving back with his units as well, realizing that it's not much here. He's moving back to his own base. This is fantastic for Bunny. He should. Oh yeah, look at that. He's intercepted him now. He knows about. Oh, okay, well this is. I'm not sure how this is going to go.
Yeah, I mean it's a stim though. It's the 2-1-1, but the auto turret goes down. You can't force the fight as GUMIHO. You lose 8 more workers on top of it. Now down about 9 workers in total. Yeah, this has just gone extremely well for Bunny, and the fact that he's found that drop, I think, is just the icing on top of the cake. And GUMIHO's, I mean, is he just going to move out here? He might just feel like, yeah, I need to try and find some return damage.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He really does. The Raven, that would be a good catch. And the Cyclone really trying. Oh, one shot off. Man, that is rough. Still alive, still kicking, still able to throw down some auto turrets or anti-armor missile against those Marines. Might be pretty good too. There's not many angles here available, it feels like, is there?
Yeah, I mean, third command center finishing up now for Bunny. GUMIHO has placed his on location, but now Raven coming in for some auto turret harass. It's going to be able to knock down a few more SCVs, and I mean, more economic damage is just not what GUMIHO needs right now.
Look at how prepared Bunny was for that push right there as well. Like, he's got nothing. He had the one supply depot kind of as a spotter, and then there's just nothing. There's nothing those siege tanks can shoot at all. Great play there from Bunny. Shooting his own Viking slightly, but you know, it happens.
It's a celebratory shooting of his own Viking. As another auto turret is dropped, this one going to focus down the SCVs again.
Nice.
And, I mean, yeah, it's crazy because GUMIHO is trying to, you know, get back up in the worker count. He's been constantly producing SCVs. And Bunny has actually cut his SCV counts because he's not able to take a third base. So he's not really focusing on getting up that third CC. Right now, it's getting the upgrades. GUMIHO, though, again, is ahead in that facet. And I don't know, it's starting to feel like even though Bunny made some really good moves, is not really able to take advantage of them properly right now. GUMIHO is just kind of keeping this contain going and just making sure that, listen, as long as you can't take a third and I have mine up, I'm going to be able to get back into this game and get back into a really good position.
Yeah. I'm a bit worried if these siege tanks of his get picked off at any point. It might get quite dicey all of a sudden, but doesn't get the medevac, loses another Viking. Alright. GUMIHO has been making Vikings as well, so they're flying across the map right now, I believe. There we go. So there's not a real clear air advantage anymore for Bunny. He is inching forwards. Is that siege tank not quite in range?
Yeah, I mean, you really need to break out of this soon. GUMIHO's now ahead in worker counts. He's on 3 bases. Bunny has this drop set up, and he can either choose to flank with that or try and go for a counterattack. But I don't know, this is just, I mean, GUMIHO has just done an insanely good job of setting up this contain and keeping it. Like, he's not being too aggressive with it. He's not forcing anything. He's just making sure that Bunny never feels comfortable, you know, moving out and trying to fight it, as these Marines might just slip in. A few Marines that were on reinforcement duty, though, will be able to push it back.
And Bunny just going to go for the natural death for a moment, but more Marines. Hold on.
Yeah, he might be able to turn this now.
Upgrade advantage is gone as well. It's 1-1 to 1-1 right now.
As little stim Marines chasing each other. It's a little bit funny, but yeah, this is, I don't know, it just feels like Bunny is really getting shut down now as this game is progressing.
Yeah.
Liberator out, should be able to start to push back these tanks finally. And that will be enough to break the contain, but it's just taken so long.
Yeah, I mean, I still kind of like Bunny's position, especially if he... Well, let's see how this goes, actually.
I mean, decent trade. Gets rid of one side of the army. They're now just going to keep retreating. Trying
really
to save
out,
as much of it.
He didn't really manage to take out any of those siege tanks, however, did he?
No.
No. Yeah. 8 workers.
It's a large army.
It's a large army. Bunny has the Raven, however, and he still has the siege tank advantage. He's got the Liberator there. Like, he does definitely have the better army here. But let's see if he's going to have the better trade as well. Nice anti-armor missile. Is that going to help out enough? Marines into the medevacs. Trying to stay away from the siege tank fire. As, well, things are... They're shooting.
Those first volleys were absolutely insane. Bunny, yeah, he got so much of the army. Picks off another tank there with the auto turret. And again, he's going to be sitting with that tank lead about 3 ahead. But the 2-2 timing is drawing ever closer as these Marines may be trying to drop on in. Liberator, though, denies mining in the main. Not a lot of mineral patches there, though, for GUMIHO. It's starting to get mined out as this game is going on. And Bunny, he's just committing to the fight. There's only one tank siege, and that's not enough. Right before 2-2's finished, Bunny takes another great fight. And now he's going to push for the tank advantage, and that's a very, very low health tank. Sieged up just in time to keep Bunny away. But again, it's just, it feels like this is the same, it's like the same pattern ever. He's doing it!
Oh, it's the Bunny move. Oh,
he's going for it. There's nothing here. The tanks are dropping into the main. SCVs are being pulled. The medevacs for GUMIHO are trying to respond, but there's not enough of them as the units come just filtering in for GUMIHO. He's able to get on top of the army, and GUMIHO cleans it up just in time.
That 2-2 upgrade for the Marines now kicking in again. Really helping him be as efficient as he can be there with the defense. Bunny's still, well, kind of rotating around this area, but it's a scary one, man. It's lost him 2 more siege tanks. Maybe just rotating into a different angle would be the play here for Bunny.
I feel like he has to realize that that 2-2 is done. Picks up, gets on out. No,
Bunny, don't.
Flashbacks to that game he lost by Doom dropping too many times against Maru. Wait, this could be a massive catch. Marine spots out Bunny's army. No, GUMIHO. This is so dangerous. The Marines see it. Yeah.
Not like this. Not like this. Oh my.
No, he's going for it. Bunny. He's not responding. He didn't move his army down. I think he thought that GUMIHO retreated. He saw it. He says, yeah, GUMIHO's going to retreat. There's no way GUMI commits to it. But GUMIHO's going on in. Doom drop again. Both players now trying to trade these blows. Tank retreats. And the counter Doom drop from Bunny. Gets on top of all the tanks. But I don't know if there's too much here for GUMIHO. I mean, he has 2-2 bio. These Marines just shred through everything.
Yeah, there's more Marines for Bunny now coming in. The 20 SCVs already lost as he's now just bleeding into not a Marine fight he can take. And GG is called. The series is tied up, and suddenly both of these players looking at elimination. In the bottom left side, we got a man just tying up the series once again. He's been having an okay record against his opponent. He just really needs this one extra victory right now. Storm Gaming's GUMIHO. Camless right now also.
The top right wasn't able to close it out in 2. One more shot for him. Would be a massive result. It's Bunny. Oh. And it all comes down to this.
It all comes down to this. Who advances and who is eliminated? Who just wasted their time slightly?
I mean, it's not a waste of time. You still get the prize money, obviously.
True. But you know what I mean. You know, it's like these tournaments. You sign up for them. You put in all the hours, the effort, the practice, and you hope to win it all. Or get as far as possible until you meet Maru or someone similar. But yeah, it's... Oof.
This is going to be intense. I mean, and the craziest part is it's on Waterfall, and this is one of the most volatile maps for TVT in this map pool, with just how small it is, with how compact the bases are. There's a lot that can happen on this map. We've seen crazy exchanges before, and so there's a chance that this game gets absolutely wild just because of the way it's set up.
Yeah. For sure, and so far, well, we're kind of having standard openings, both of them doing the safe kind of attack route for the time being. You know, double gas, barracks with the factory all coming in on their time, and okay, we do see the first Reaper for Bunny starting to head across the map here.
Yeah. Just gonna be scouting out. Nothing too crazy. Both these players going for the 2 Reapers. I wouldn't be surprised if we just get, 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion, or 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion from both of them, as trading for shots there. KD8 charge. Oh my. Even, but yeah, GUMIHO just gets a slight advantage there on that last shot. But yeah, this is completely standard openings. That's not surprising. Both these players know how much is on the line. Both of them know how much is at stake here. I mean, you get into the top 8, the prize pool goes up, you have a shot at advancing even further, and you get those EPT points, especially is massive for qualifying for IEM Katowice. Other bigger tournaments like that you really want to make it into without having to play through a massive bracket to qualify. As nice trade here by GUMIHO, gets the 2 Reapers, but is going to be traded back as the Hellion is there. And once again, GUMIHO going to be getting that Cyclone very, very early on. Has been, I think, really just kind of the style that GUMIHO is favoring. Is this Cyclones 2 to 3? I think it's surprising that he's gone up to 3, but he's been able to use it very, very well.
He has, yeah. And well, I mean, we've seen some good air harassments overall as well from both these players. So I'm wondering if we're going to see. Yep, there it is. The Banshee, in fact, from Bunny once again. Decides not to get cloaked with it. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Banshee definitely did work. In the last game, he didn't quite win, but did a lot of work the previous time.
I think the Banshee has been interesting in just the matchup between these two, how it's been used. Obviously, game 1, GUMIHO using the double Banshee to a great effect. And then game 2, Bunny fits it in and is like, hey, I actually really like how this is working and how well it did, and so uses it, gets a bit of damage, finds a lot of harassment damage. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to transition it into any sort of a significant lead that he was able to capitalize on. And that was really the story of the last game. It was that slight lead, but GUMIHO just getting this amazing contained setup that Bunny was not able to break, and that essentially just led to GUMIHO being able to turn this game into a win that last game. It all came off the back of that move. As now we're going to be seeing GUMIHO here looking for a little bit of a push out. Has 2 tanks. One of them in the medevac, one that is just walking across the map. And, this is so good. He's just barely dodged out. The vision of Bunny is now Reen going to get shot at. Does give away the fact that this is here as Bunny maybe looking to slide in here with a few units of his own. Just a few Marines here, not going to be enough to stop it. Auto turret may have to be used here by GUMIHO, but tank is around. Of course, you don't want to lose too many workers as already 2 SCVs go down. A few more shots go off. 4 SCVs falling in total. The tank not having a ton of DPS to stop this. It's very worthwhile here for Bunny just to find a little bit of worker damage. 5 SCVs fall. But GUMIHO setting up another contain. And we're going to need to see Bunny do a much better job of breaking out of it this time. Because in the last game, it was just absolute, as I said many times before, it was just absolutely disastrous how much it did.
Yeah, sure. Well, coming in with the chokehold here for GUMIHO, it's reminiscent for sure. Very reminiscent. Oh dear. Well, at least he doesn't have a 3rd base up yet, right? That's something. That's something going here for Bunny. Nah, similar boat as well.
I mean, it's happening again. It's happening again, Kozan. And I gotta say, I do like how GUMIHO does this, though. He sits his tank so far back that it's hard for Bunny to really be like, oh yeah, I'll push out into this. But in the meantime, you also still need to break the containment. It looks like GUMIHO is going to be a little bit respectful to the air superiority of Bunny here. Is going to back on up, but now tanks giving their shots off. One tank is going to fall on either side as the auto turret goes down. The air battle, though, is just firmly going in favor of Bunny. Has enough Vikings, knocks down the Raven.
Man, that was a scramble fight right there. That was some roughhousing in front of Bunny's base. And we're seeing, am I right? Is that 2 more starports already in the production tab for GUMIHO?
Well, it's 2 more starports for GUMIHO, but it's already 2 starports for Bunny. Look at that, 2 Vikings and a Liberator in production. He's actually, that's been his answer. He saw that the container was getting set up, and he's had a 2nd starport added on to get just complete air dominance to be able to break it. And it's been a good, it's done well so far. I mean, he's been able to completely break out. And you see that GUMIHO is now responding to that with his own very, very quick 2 starports. It's going to be interesting to see, though, what units GUMIHO prioritizes. Like, do you just go into Viking production? Looks like that. 4 Vikings at a time. He's not going to really be worried about adding on Ravens just yet, as Bunny is looking for this push. Tanks and Vikings. Can you get in range from the low ground there on that command center? I think the tanks might be able to find shots there onto the command center from the low ground. We'll see. Bunny setting it up.
Yeah, especially if that SUV is on that edge right there. It makes it even a little bit easier. But now it's Bunny's turn all of a sudden to apply this pressure right here. And GUMIHO is starting to be pushed back into his natural base. So this third base of his is not going to be doing much of anything for a while. Ooh, a bit of friendly fire there from the siege tanks.
So many Vikings.
Mr. GUMIHO. And yeah, this is ridiculous.
So many shots going off the focus fire. It looks pretty good for both players, but there's just so many more Vikings available for GUMIHO as he's been working off the 3-star ports now. And yeah, command center at the 3rd is forced to lift off, but you end up losing your Vikings is not what Bunny wanted. And now GUMIHO immediately switches into Liberators.
Yep.
Tank siege up. Bunny
4
not
Liberators.
Ooh. This is not good for Bunny here.
You usually just see like 1, maybe 2, right? Just to really force siege tank positions away. Okay.
Yeah, not the best trade there with the Vikings.
Yeah.
GUMIHO drops them down to try and catch out the tanks, but only gets, I mean, what, he gets 2, I think, because they were low, but...
Very interesting, especially because he's building those 4 Liberators right now. He doesn't have Vikings to replace those Vikings with.
Yeah.
Suddenly Bunny has the air advantage again.
No, this is very, very well done by Bunny. I mean, he's really just trying to delay his opponent, essentially. You're trying to stop GUMIHO from getting out onto a 3rd base. You're trying to deny them that opportunity to continue their economic advantage. Which right now, Bunny, he does have a 3rd CC. He just hasn't floated out onto location. He's been focused so hard on this contain. He has not gotten that 3rd CC on location. If he's able to do that, if he starts to produce workers, I feel like Bunny would be in a much larger lead than he's at right now because he's actually down in supply.
I like the option here for the Liberator harassment. Looks like that is going to be able to pick up quite a few kills as Bunny's not really responding to the one in his main base at all whatsoever. Okay, does pull his SCVs away from that spot, but 14 SCVs have already been perished, and he does have that 3rd base, and that's going to help him out here.
Look at this push, though. Yeah, I mean, I think right now, Bunny, he's just focusing on trying to end the game, maybe with his push. The Liberator and the Siege Tanks pushing forward. The Vikings, it's such a close fight, but GUMIHO with the better focus fire is going to be able to take out the Vikings. And now the re-engagement as the Liberators unsiege to soak up that damage. And I think that Bunny just has enough to maybe take out the Vikings in the air, and he still has 5 tanks behind this.
Yeah, it's looking...
Repair coming through, though.
Nasty. There is another siege tank just ready right now for GUMIHO that can set itself up onto the high ground if it wants to. The Liberator for Bunny, however, that's the big player here. He is eyeing up those siege tanks. If that gets close enough, it could be quite a play.
Oh, this Liberator's getting so much damage.
It really is. Another 5 kills just like that.
He said 28 workers. I mean, yeah, Bunny's just in such a bad economic position. He needs to end the game with this push, and he knows that. That's why he's been just keeping on the pressure. As, oh, that command center's getting very low. Has to lift off. And now the Vikings fighting in the Marines. Not good there for GUMIHO. The Marines, though, take a bit of damage. And GUMIHO's still able to win. Look at the bank for GUMIHO. I know, he has 2,000 minerals. Not sure why he's not able to spend that right now. As Bunny.
Maybe? I don't know what happened to his barracks.
Oh, did they? Wait, did he not have barracks in the main?
Maybe he had to replace some tech labs or add-ons somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly, but
oh,
yeah.
what? GG.
Okay.
He's got 2,000 minerals. What?